What's up, Total Wars here, fans? We've got a great one for you today. It's going to be a 2v2 land battle. Tylis and Arverni going up against the Iceni and Kush. So we'll start off with Kush, since it's by far right now the smallest army. It's going to be the Disciples of Epidemic. I'm also going to slow this down. So that's the very deadly light infantry. It's about the same. It's actually better than, in my opinion, it's better than the Armored Shoto Warriors. Its only disadvantage is that really low armor. These guys are beasts, and they will do a ton of damage if used correctly, though. If getting pinned down by archer fire because of that low armor, they're going to get destroyed. Then we're going to go to the Iceni. It's going to be two sword band, a chosen sword band. Looks like chosen sword band going to make up the front ranks. Bretonic slingers, three of those visible right now. I know he has more in his army, as well. Both do, hopefully. Because if that's all Disciples of Epidemic are, that's it. They've got some problems. So for me, I'm going to have the Gallic Hunters out front, like scouting for me. Then up front, I'm going to have three Celtic Warrior, two more Gallic Hunters, and then I'm going to have some Chosen Swords making up that rank there. Then some Naked Warriors, and then on the far right, Light Horse, Heavy Horse. My general's going to be a Noble Horse. On the left, I'm going to have another Light Horse, a Heavy Horse, and a Levy Freeman. So we'll see how that one plays out there for me. I have that Gallic Hunter in the front. It's like my scouting unit right now, making sure I don't run into any trouble. Run my whole army into an ambush in these trees. Over here, Britain, the Iceni coming out with some Britain scout riders and veteran riders, as well as a heroic rider general. It looks like that's going to hit the right flank of Tylis, who's going to have tribal warriors all along that front line there, backed by some Celtic tribesmen, which is a spear unit, and then three noble horse, so elite cavalry, and he's going to be going up against that Iceni. The noble horse are outnumbered, but I think they can still win that, especially with the help of those spears there. So I'm continuing my advance cautiously through the woods here. I'm glad it wasn't another flat plain, but the woods do give that level of, you don't know what you're going to run into. Now with Kush disappearing as one unit into the woods, I kind of knew he was in there. I knew he was in there all along, but it was like, I got to still advance cautious, because he could be clear back here on the very edge of the woods where that Disciples of Epidemic was, and waiting for me to come clear around, or he could be like right inside the tree line here, just waiting for me to walk into it. So he could be anywhere in that broad space of trees. He also could have a portion of his army here that he could turn around and flank me with as soon as I engage his main force in those trees. So I've got to get that good scouting done, and I'm going to send out a light horse. For a second there I thought it was the scout riders, but it's going to be a light horse, and that's going to be kind of my scouting party in the trees over there. And it's also going to start heading towards Britain, who has no protection on the right flank here, at least as far as we can see. But since he brought such a strong cab force, I would assume he would have a little bit over here. Now we got some ambushers coming out of nowhere. Good move there by the Iceni. Looks like it hit the light horse. I don't know. The light horse, I don't know if it got a charge there or what happened, but those ambushers aren't going to take the charge of those noble horse, and they're going to crumble really fast. So Britain looks like he's opting, or the Iceni looks like he's going to try to run to the left, shifting his whole formation into like a flanking move around the side of Tylis. He also looks like he might be trying to beat him to the red line, or the edge of the map, so he can't get flanked there, and then he can move all his cav to the right. Meanwhile, my light horse has scouted out the area and he has deemed it safe so far. It has been safe so far. Meanwhile, one Ethiopian. I thought there was two. One. Okay, only one Ethiopian cavalry is going to come up out of the woods, or out of the trees. And considering how far back he came, I think my suspicions that he could be clear back here are kind of verified, because he's right there. So I did hide my light horse there inside the trees, because you don't want to get engaged with that unit there, and lose that unit. So okay, here's the second one. I knew there was another one. They still can't quite. Okay, there they go. All right. So now two Ethiopian cavalry coming in there. and going to be heading to help the Iceni on the center there. Meanwhile, the light horse is going to try to hide in the woods and possibly get away. See if he can't escape through the trees, but it looks like he was seen, and now it looks as though the Ethiopians are going to turn towards him. Let's speed this back up. I've already went through the army compositions. But you know me, I'm not going to just save the unit. I'm just going to like annihilate the unit by going in right behind the Iceni. Now I'm looking here. The reason I'm doing this is going to sound really dumb, but you see all this focus fire going into those tribal warriors right there? You can't take that from those Bretonic slingers. You can't take that from any unit. I mean, these Bretonic slingers are probably the best one to take it from because they're one of the worst, or some of the worst units. So I'm going to try to take out as many of these guys as I can with my cavalry unit before it goes down. And since he's forcing the engagement fast, it worked really well because the infantry wasn't allowed to turn around and face me. And he did do that. Okay. Now it looks like he's going to have disorder in his lines because he's trying to stop my cavalry, which is going to give Tylis an advantage right here because right now he can see through behind. I've already routed one of the Bretonics, the skirmishers here. I'm really focused on this point of the battle right now because at least I'm saying I was focused on it like running my units, my one unit, I should say. It's at 71 kills on that light horses. It's taken out a second unit of skirmishers there, but it's suffering to that Ethiopian cavalry. Meanwhile, that chosen sword band is going to crumble. Morale already on red now after taking charges from the tribal warriors. Now the tribal warriors encircling the Rhines because of that gap. So this gap could be a game changer if the cavalry could win, or if this infantry cavalry mix over here could win, and they could get a flanking charge. I also got some charge right there from the noble horse. That would be game changing. That gap really made a difference there. As now Tylis is coming in on a huge flanking move. You need to watch out for the Ethiopian cavalry though, because they could swing in and hit those tribal warriors in the back. You need to send something. I should probably send my heavy horse to do that, but I didn't. I don't know why. Probably because I'm dumb, but missed opportunity. Now you see the rest of my army moving forward again, now at a faster pace, mostly because it's not in slow motion. But they are running into the woods because they know that's where the engagement's going to be. And I made a huge mistake here in advancing too far, assuming he was clear back here from what I had seen. And we'll see how that played out in just a second, but you'll see it did not go well for me. That is right there. Bang. And look where my units are going to be. Like right there. And I meant to do an angle there. By axe, I meant to do an angle there, and it was a mess. So now my cavalry is about to run straight into those spear units, and it's not even going to get a charge. Okay, yeah, I did change it at the last second. It did get a charge there into the spear, so it's not going to do too great. It's going to get mauled, but it's going to be a small enough advanced force. Now you see I'm quickly rearranging my archers to face, and soon enough I will be, yeah, see I'm moving units around now, and it's gonna go into a disorderly odd formation, and it's gonna look really bad. But over here on the left we're gonna have, or right, yeah, my left, Kush's right, it's gonna be two Nubian spearmen. Up front they're gonna have some swords on their left, then some Shoto warriors in the back, and then archers across the back there. So a strong force, but with the cavalry gone, they've kind of got a problem. Meanwhile, over here, developing into chaos, Tylis and Iceni being a mess now as chariots have come out of nowhere for the Iceni, and they already have 17 kills for 5 losses. They are wrapping up the Tylis, and Tylis is wrapping up Iceni. I mean, it's a mess. It's back and forth here as Tylis did a good job of getting the early start, and then Iceni comes in with those chariots later and gets the late jump on those. Now here a heavy horse going to move over and engage that Ethiopian. I don't think it gets a counter charge. See, it's going to take that volley. Okay, there, it did get a counter charge. We have another Nubian or Kushite slave spearman emerging, and some more Shoto warriors now as the enemy is going to opt for a charge rather than sit and take my archer barrage. They're going to move up. At least move up. I don't know if they charge it full in. Now I move some chosen swords. So you can see this is my disorderly formation here. I moved Celtic warriors mixed in with archers. I mean, I'm just gonna mess with some and the chosen, or the Celtic warriors are backed by those chosen swords right there. Right behind them. That was the point. It was like if I could space these out, get the Celtic warriors there, and then get the chosen swords. Now you can see javelins going back and forth as the swords are going to take fire from the charging chosen swords, because I didn't charge in my Celtic Warriors. I didn't charge in all my Celtic Warriors. It would have been a better idea, though, because then the Shoto Warriors now going to move up and get counter charges on me, and I'm not even going to be able to stop it. And we also have that Disciple of Epitomac still. That's going to be a huge threat to me. And now my Chosen Sword quickly wrapping up that Swordsman from Kush. And now Levi Freeman trying to make a break for the archers there. We also have a Kushite Royal Guard General right there. And now the Shoto Warriors moving around there, trying to get a flank and get rid of that Levi Freeman, which shouldn't be hard. That Levi Freeman's only got 21 kills, no Chevron. It's also going to take a charge from the Kushite Royals. And they're going to go down pretty fast, 24 kills, and they're going to just get annihilated. Meanwhile, the swords getting wrapped up in the Shoto Warriors moving up to get that in. However, they haven't bet on the Celtic Warriors here, who could really flank them if they make that full line assault. These Celtic Warriors could come around. Now, okay, here they did. They turned a Shoto Warrior to fight that. It's going to get countercharged, but it's going to get the better of that. And the Chosen Swords, despite the Disciples of Epitomac getting in there, are doing pretty good in holding their own. They're getting rid of that Slave Spearman, but now the Disciples of Epitomac making their presence felt and taking that victory. Starting to take the victory. The Heavy Horse there at 85 destroyed the Ethiopians. Meanwhile, Tylis and Iceni still battling this one out. The General here, casualty sustained. It doesn't say General dead though, so that's dangerous. Now we got the Painted Ones. That's a scary unit in the fight. Also got the Bretonic Skirmishers still rallying for the fight, and the Light Horse or Scout Riders moving around there. So this is pretty much gone. It's still pretty even, but I mean they're pretty much wrapped up, and the two armies are pretty much worthless now. At least in my opinion. Now that Chosen Sword got rid of the Nubian Spearmen, but it's going to take Disciples of Epitomac. Now it's also taking fire from the archers. So double teaming, getting that Disciple a good engagement, a couple good engagements, and really going to knock that out. Oh wait, no. It didn't destroy the Slave Spearmen. The Slave Spearmen just left. So the Heavy Horse trying to get around the flank there and into the back. Meanwhile, the Disciples really making their presence felt. And the Shoto Warriors up front being a huge mess. Now the Kushite Royal Guard looked like they charged a Chosen Sword, and they're going to get countercharged by a Noble Horse here, as I'm trying to get rid of that dangerous cavalry unit. And over here, we have Chosen Swords entering shield walls. They're getting destroyed by those Shoto Warriors. The Shoto Warriors just ripping them apart, and then the Naked Warriors here charging in and out against those Nubian spears and racking up the kills as they're slowly taking that unit apart. And the Heavy Horse doing what it can, getting in on those Nubian spearmen and rear charging the Shoto Warriors. Now it looks like it's going to try to get into the archers, while that Kushite Royal Guard is tied down. However, the Disciples of Epitomac has won on the flank there, and it looks like they're going to send my Naked Warrior to try to stem the tide against those Shoto Warriors and that Disciple. And the Disciples and the Shotel should win that. I mean, I get that the Shotels have a lot of high or armor piercing out of their attack, so they should shoot through those Naked Warriors, especially with those Naked Warriors taking archer fire. Now, the Kushite Royal Guard going to try to break off, but chased by the Noble Horse, forced to fight the engagement it didn't want. Now, the Heavy Horse wrapping up archers here. It's not looking too good for the defenders, or for Kush, as that general has just routed, and that's a morale blow and everything else. Over here, Tylis, it's not looking good for either side here. Tylis has got two tribal warriors that are still in pretty good shape, up against Chosen Swords, Sword Band, Painted Warriors. Why did I say Sword Band? Bretonic Slingers. It's also going to have some Chariots in there yet. Heroic Riders against a Noble Horse and two Chosen. So it doesn't look two tribals. So it's not looking too great here for either my team, either people on my team. My team, I'm not doing too great either. But I have had some encouraging breakthroughs here with my Naked Warriors now at 138, able to help against the Shoto Warriors. And these ones here, the Shoto Warriors getting wrapped up by my Chosen Swords after rear charges. And my Cavalry free to kill despite being chased by a Shotel. I've got pretty good going here. The Shoto Warriors and Disciples of Epitomac have broken through. Now, I didn't show it, but if you would have been there, you would have seen, if I would have been here, I would have seen Focus Fire, and you still see it a little bit from this archer unit here. Focus Fire coming in on those Disciples, and they're not liking that. They've taken about 50 losses, 51 losses so far, and you see just fire pouring in there. However, they are getting the block chance from the Shoto warriors, however. And that's nice for that unit. However, it looks like I've wrapped Kush up pretty much. Those disciples of Epitomac are still a force to be reckoned with, but if cavalry charges can destroy those pretty fast. Now a cavalry unit has engaged the Shoto warriors, who are now going to turn and face a rear charge coming from the noble horse. But they have entered shield wall, which will help them quite a bit against that. Meanwhile, looks like Tylis has got 2 units. It's routed, chosen swords, and they have somehow pulled off a victory and are leaving. Coming over here to help me probably. Meanwhile, I'm wrapping up Kush, the powerhouse faction that was in this game. Iceni are okay. They are good, actually, the Iceni. I don't mind the Iceni. I'm not a huge fan of the Iceni, but I'm not completely against using them. You know, the Disciples of Epitomac at 164, and these are a good unit to run down the archers because they are lightly armored, so they can go real. They don't have the armor weighing them down. They can move faster and catch up the archers. But now they're turning to fight a chosen sword. Going to take fire from the back of from the Gallic hunters, and meanwhile, over here, the Shoto warriors are going to be chasing the Gallic hunters. But we do have rear fire coming in from those Gallic hunters over there, firing into the back of the Shoto warriors. And over here, we have my general losing against that Shoto warrior. Got some heavy horse over there helping him as well. So they're wrapping that up. My naked warriors here at 188. That's why I like that unit. It does a great job. The Celtic warriors there, 184, 137. Gallic hunters, looks like they're going to set up and fire now. Nope, they're out of ammunition. I see swords out. So they will be charging into melee there. As the Disciples of Epitomac still going. Now they are losing. They have 63 men left, 60 men left. They're losing men as they're exhausted, but they're still just cutting their way through everything. I mean, they're at 207 kills. However, a charge from the naked warriors should put them down, and a charge from the heavy horse. However, that Shoto, that's not even a Shoto warrior. That's a swordsman that has beat out the noble horse, and not good. Now we're going to get some general abilities. Looks like we're going to get raise the banner. Meanwhile, we have another chosen sword band that has rallied and is coming back through the woods. Over here, the Gallic hunter is going to charge into hand-to-hand against that Shoto warrior, finally tired of running, and they're actually going to rout that due to army losses, I assume, and that's going to wrap it up. It was a close victory here. So let's take a look at the statistics here. Wow. So we got Francisco de Quidevo. He's got 2,129 kills. And he's going to be Tylis. He's going to have 149. The Noble Horse did amazing. The Celtic Tribesmen did okay. His Tribal Warriors did amazing, except for that one right there. That's a little disappointing. Then Total War is here, 2,220. I mean, that's a perfect number right there. 2, 2, 2. If we would have just killed 2 more people, that would have been perfect. But Total War is here. I'm playing as the Arverni. Good on the Noble Horse. Great job on that heavy horse right there, 328. These ones not so much. The light horse here, 84 did okay. Light horse at 8 and 95 on that heavy horse. Not amazing. Archers did okay. Celtic Warriors did okay. And then Chosen Swords, okay. Levy Freeman, 33, okay. And then the Naked Warriors did amazing right there at 228. The other one, 66, not quite as encouraging. Then we have Chen's Hanyel. And it's Kush, and he's going to have 1,813 kills. Great job by his general there, the Kushite Royal Guard, Ethiopian Cavalry. A little disappointing, but they did okay, 40, 42. And then the Archers, a little disappointing, 3 kills, 39, 41. And for the Nubian boat, no, those are just Archers. Okay. Then the Disciples of Epitomac did amazing. They did what Disciples of Epitomac do. They demolished me. Then the Nubian Spearmen, a little disappointing. The Shoto Warriors did great, and the Swordsmen not so good. Then Pictavia, I apologize that I cannot pronounce that. The Heroic Riders didn't do too great, neither did the Britain Scout Riders. I mean, the Britain Scout Riders, because they're a cheap unit, they did okay for their price. The Chariots not so good. The heavy or Veteran Riders not so good. The Ambushers not so good. Slingers, they got mauled, but that 109 did good. Then the Chosen Sword Band did good all around. 70 on that Levy Freeman. That is a good job, dude. You did amazing with that unit. I mean, these guys never get that many kills, or rarely get that many kills. And then good job by that. Wow, 278 on the painted ones. Dude, amazing job. 27 on that one there, the spear band, and then 54 and 18 on the sword band. So nothing impressive on the sword band, but wow, those painted warriors at 278, that is remarkable. So like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of that. So thanks for watching.